YouTube, man. The Watchtower had its annual meeting this weekend, man. And it's frustrating me, man. It's really frustrating. I have no family organization, but it's really frustrating me because somebody I knew, and I shouldn't say knew, but I knew this guy as a young child, or I've seen him. I never really got to know him personally. He's basically raised in Hall. Killed himself, man. He killed himself earlier this year. Another brother I knew had to get heart surgery. There's another brother who he's on antidepressants. Why am I bringing this up, though? I don't want to start this video off on a negative note. The point I want to emphasize is that this organization, man, it leads people down a dark alley. And a lot of times it doesn't end well. If you're not a strong emotional person and you don't have strong emotional people around you, you're not going to lead this organization, and you're not going to, it's not going to end well for you. I can say that. A lot of brothers and sisters have heart problems. Okay? I've known 2 in the congregation that had to have heart surgery. That's not a coincidence, man. There's many that have committed suicide because of the stress and the hopelessness and the fact that I'm not good enough, and that no matter what I do, we're in the last days, and very soon this system is going to end. Jesus is going to come back, and I didn't talk to enough people. I didn't pass enough magazines out, and Jesus is going to destroy me. Never mind the fact that I believe in Jesus, never mind the fact about grace or loving kindness. Jesus is going to destroy me because I didn't do enough. And so at least if I die or kill myself, I won't have to go through the pain of Jesus killing me. This is what the organization teaches. Not outright, but they teach, how can I say this? It's an unwritten doctrine of the Jehovah's Witness. Okay? And so, I just had to share that with you guys. But, what I want to talk about here is the annual meeting that happened. The annual meeting happened a couple of weeks ago. And the interesting thing about the Watchtower or Jehovah's Witnesses is that you learn more when you come out about the organization than if you've been in there 20, 30, 40, or 50 years, man. I was baptized in 2003 when I was 20 years old. Okay? So I spent almost more than half of my life in this organization. I baptized for 14 years, man. 13 years. Okay? So I'm in my 30s, man. I'm in my 30s, okay? I got baptized when I was a grown man. I was out the house. I had my own spot. So the blame is on me. My parents didn't force me to become Jehovah's Witness. My parents didn't raise me to become Jehovah's Witness. My parents are not even Jehovah's Witness. They hate Jehovah's Witness. Okay? And I shouldn't say hate. That's a strong word. But regardless of how long I've been in there, I've learned more about this organization, the dark side of it, when I came out. A year after I've been out, I've learned so much, and it's crazy. And that's because the organization prevents you from learning certain things or looking up certain things. They have information control. The only thing you're supposed to look up is what they tell you can look up. What they have jw.org on, that's what you can look up. Anything that have jw.org, you can't look up. Okay? But anyway, I want to share with you in this video. I'm going to try to keep it brief. But it's so much information, I don't know if I can do that. But I hope that you guys hang with me, man. I hope that you guys hang on in there with me. Okay. This week, the organization had a annual meeting. Okay, and they've been having it for years. Okay. What the annual meeting is where the congregation will get new light, a new organization publication, which means that this is what we're going to use in the field service. I think in 2000, what was that? 2013. I can't remember when they got it, but 2013 they got a new Bible. Okay, another year they got another like a book that tells them how to do the field service. It's different publications they will get that helps them with the ministry and tell them how the organization runs. Okay, they get new arrangements, how the meeting is gonna run, the year text. Say for instance, if the Kingdom Hall is gonna be changed to a different name, say we're not gonna call it Kingdom Hall anymore. You'll learn at the annual meeting. You'll learn all the ins and outs of the Jehovah's Witness organization for the next year at the annual meeting. Okay, if they got a new song, you're gonna learn it at the annual meeting. Okay, if we're not going door to door no more starting January 1st, you're gonna learn the annual meeting. You understand what I'm saying? You guys have an annual meeting, right? Now, what you guys thought this was a religious meeting. What you guys don't understand is that on the corporate side, because the Watchtower is a corporation, it's not a religion. The Watchtower is a corporation. Okay? For any Jehovah's Witnesses watching this, the Watchtower is a corporation, not the religion. Okay? And the Jehovah's Witnesses have many corporations that they use. I just want to set that straight. The Watchtower is not just a magazine you guys hand out every week or when you guys go on field service. The Watchtower is a corporation that produces the Watchtower magazine. Okay? So what you guys had was an annual meeting, but behind the scenes, you guys understand what that really was? The annual meeting was actually a shareholders meeting. A shareholders meeting. Okay? Every corporation in America is required by the law to have an annual meeting. Okay? Why do they do this? Okay? For one, to elect the board of directors. 2, to review the annual reports. 3, to discuss new projects and activities. And also to provide a declaration of dividends and policies. Okay? So basically, the annual meeting is a shareholders meeting. That's all it is. Okay? That's all it is. But the Watchtower wants you guys to think that, you guys going to another assembly. That's not what it was. That was a side point. That was a side point to keep you guys asleep and not pay attention to what's going on over here. You know what I'm saying? That was a false flag, as the conspiracy theorists call it. That annual meeting you guys had where the governing body came out giving these talks, that was a false flag. What was going on behind the scene was a shareholders meeting. And you might say, governing body, Watchtower doesn't have shareholders. Come on, we're not for profit. I present to you Exhibit A. You guys remember this, right? But guess what? Jehovah's Witnesses won't believe what I'm saying. They won't believe nothing I'm saying because, the Watchtower didn't come out and say it. Well, yes, they did. And I'm going to show to you that the Watchtower has shareholders. Now, the thing is, this is what the Watchtower does. Let me tell you what Jehovah's Witness does, okay? If somebody asks the Jehovah's Witness, how many fingers do you have? You know what Jehovah's Witnesses say? I have 3 fingers. They have 5, but guess what? These 2 will criminalize them. These 2 fingers right here will criminalize them because they have something on them that they don't want anything to see. So they'll say, I have 3 fingers. And while they do have 3 fingers, that's not the whole truth. They actually have 5 fingers. That's the whole truth. But if you have 3 fingers, if you have 5 fingers, you have 3 fingers. Okay? That's when you go to court of law, they say you try to tell the truth, the whole truth. Because they know that sometimes you tell the truth, but sometimes not the whole truth. And the Watchtower is good at telling the truth, but not the whole truth. Alright? So, getting back into this right here. The annual meeting was a shareholders meeting. Okay? Does the Watchtower have shareholders? Yes, they do. In the Proclaimer's book, the Jehovah's Witness Proclaiming God's Kingdom, I'm going to show you guys got that. Page 229. Check this out. The thing that cults do is they redefine terms and they have their own language and they change the name of things so that people don't understand what they're saying. But I'm about to break it down to you guys, man. Check this out. Page 229. Let me explain to you what they said right here. Because when people read this organization book, they didn't understand what it's talking about. You guys thought this was talking about the organization, and it was, but it was saying a lot of stuff in there that was hidden in plain sight. And let me read you. I'm gonna give you an example of what it did in one of the sentences. This is very interesting, man. It says, hence. This is the first paragraph of the page. Of page 229. Hence, at the business meeting of all shareholder voters of the society on October 2nd, 1940. You see what they just did right there? You guys see what they just did right there? That is crazy. You guys see what they switched the name. Let me read that again. At the business meetings of all shareholder voters of the society on October 2nd, 1944. That's an annual meeting. That was an annual meeting of the corporation. Why did they call it a business meeting when it's actually an annual meeting? Because they didn't want you guys to put those two together. So the shareholders in the organization met on October 2nd, 1944. And they've been having annual meetings before 1944. So this was an annual meeting in 1944. Let me skip down with you. Membership would not now be unlimited as to number, but would be between 300 and 500. All of whom will be men chosen by the board of directors. Show you right there that the Watchtower Society has between 300 and 500 shareholders. Do you guys know that? Well, now you do. Right here in this book right here, it tells you that the Watchtower Society of Pennsylvania has between 300 and 500 shareholders. Ain't that something? You guys didn't even know that, huh? And that's why you have an annual meeting every year, because this is a meeting for the shareholders. The shareholder. I don't know why I'm saying shareholders. Shareholders. So while they call themselves non-profit, they still have shareholders. Do you guys understand that the Watchtower has many different corporations? They have a Watchtower Corporation of Pennsylvania, which is responsible for doctrine and publishing the magazine. And then guess what? Check this out. They have a Watchtower Society of New York, which is responsible for real estate. Did you guys know that? They were two different entities or two different corporations? One is a subsidiary of the Watchtower Corporation of Pennsylvania. So one of the ways they make money is through real estate. So when you hear Kingdom Halls closing down, when you hear them selling Kingdom Halls, understand that that has to do with the Watchtower Society of New York. They're making money off of you guys with the Kingdom Halls. You guys didn't know that. If you don't believe me, so what? You gotta believe me. It's right there sleeping in your own publications. Alright? The Watchtower ain't gonna tell you that, but they also wouldn't tell you that they was part of the UN for a couple of years. They wouldn't tell you that either. But again, once you come out, you learn these things. So what I just showed you from this book, if you go check it out yourself, page 229. Go check it out yourself. Watchtower Society of Pennsylvania has shareholders. And as a corporation, they were required to have an annual meeting. That's why you have an annual meeting. It's not because they want to show you new policies. They have to do that with their shareholders. I want you to let that sink in for a minute. All right. Now, think about it. Every corporation in America has to have it. Just like I said, McDonald's has to have an annual meeting. Best Buy has to have an annual meeting. Any corporation, Apple has to have an annual meeting. Any corporation you can name, you name it, they have to have an annual meeting. And they have it at the end of the fiscal year. The Watchtower have it at the end of the fiscal year? Well, guess what? Again, as I said before, they changed the name. They don't call it a fiscal year, they call it a service year. Why did I say that? Okay. August 15th, take it from me out, August 15th, 2011. Where is it at? August 15th, 2011. Let me read what it says to you. Page 22. How are we to understand the figures in the annual service report? We go down the second paragraph, says service year, which is actually a fiscal year. Okay? The fiscal year of the Watchtower Society. Let me tell you what the fiscal year of the Watchtower Society is. Because remember, they don't just get money from donations. They get it from different places, man. So when you say, oh yeah, we don't have a collection plate, no, that's not where they're getting their money from. They get a lot of it from donations, but they get it from somewhere else, man. Service year or the fiscal year. This extends from September of one year through August of the next. The yearbook contains a report for the preceding service year. So again, a fiscal year ends in August and begins in September. You understand me? And when do they have the annual meeting? Most of the time and all the time in October, after the fiscal year ends or the service year. Okay? Now, let me move to this very swiftly. I hope I set the background rules for you guys and you understand. I'm sorry. Go look it up, man. Look at those, what I just said. Look at those in their publications. Now, again, the purpose of the annual meeting is to elect the board of directors. Now, do the Watchtower Society of Pennsylvania have a board of directors? Well, I'll let them speak for you. I'll let them tell it themselves. In the January, let me see, what is that? January 15, 2001, page 28 through 30. Does the Watchtower Society of Pennsylvania have a board of directors? This is right from this magazine right here. You see that right there? You see that lady right there? Remember that face. Look that magazine up if you got it. January 15, 2001. Look what that say. How does the governing body differ from a legal corporation? Because again, the governing body is part of the religion. The corporation is a legal entity. Let me see if they got a board of directors with the Watchtower Society of Pennsylvania. I keep saying this so this can go in your mind. Now, when you see the organization in New York, that's part of the Pennsylvania Corporation. All right? First paragraph, page 28. Annual meetings of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of Pennsylvania have been held since January of 1855. 1855. That's over 100 years, man. Over 120 years. They've been having annual meetings. So in this publication right here, when they said, oh, we had a business meeting, why did they say that? Why did they just say annual meeting, we had shareholders? Why did they say that? Why they call it a business meeting when it's actually annual meeting? They've been having annual meetings since 1855. In 1940, Hayden C. Covington was elected a director of the society. A director of what? The society or the board of directors? That's what you do at annual meeting. Every corporation has to do that, and they have to elect or vote for the board of directors. Okay? 1945. What seemed to be Jehovah's will that all directors or the board of directors and officers of Pennsylvania Corporation be anointed Christians. A. Swingle replaced Hayden Covington on the board of directors. And again, during the annual meeting of any corporation, they can replace members of the board of directors. And that's what they do during the annual meeting. The third paragraph. Board of Directors of the Pennsylvania Corporation. Next paragraph. Historic annual meeting. At the annual meeting on October 2nd, 1944, members of the Pennsylvania Corporation adopted 6 resolutions amending its charter. Okay? The charter had provided that voting shares. Directors of the society were to be voted by individuals who were fully devoted by Jehovah. In 1944, a governing body was closely identified with the Pennsylvania Corporation's 7-member board of directors. The directors are elected by the members of the corporation. Okay. Page 29. Directors of the Pennsylvania Corporation. The Pennsylvania Corporation is not the only legal entity used by Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay. Its directors, it is beneficial to have legal entities. Such entities serve as legal instruments to handle members related to property ownership. Okay. You guys understand what I just read right there? That the corporation, the Watchtower Corporation of Pennsylvania, has board of directors. And such, they have to have an annual meeting every year. Page 31, a special announcement. The annual meeting of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of Pennsylvania, there you go again, on October 7, 2000, the chairman, John E. Barr, Certain members of the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses have been serving as directors or board of directors. You don't believe me? Go read that magazine right there, page 28 to 31. Which one is that? January 15th, 2001. Go check that magazine out, man. You'll see that the Watchtower has boards of directors and they have shareholders. And that's why they have to have an annual meeting. Again, the Watchtower is a business, man. The Watchtower is a business, man. All right? Next, the purpose of annual meeting is also to review annual reports, okay, with the shareholders, okay? Now, I'm going to read this to you. July 1st, 2001, that's that magazine right there, page 30. Let me read what it said. Annual meeting, October 6, 2001. The annual meeting of the members of the Watchtower Byron Tract Society of Pennsylvania. There you go again. That's what you guys need to be looking at. Forget about that Warwick building out there in New York. Y'all need to be looking at the Watchtower Corporation of Pennsylvania. It says a preliminary meeting will convene at 9:15 a.m. followed by the general annual meeting at 10 o'clock. You got to understand what I just read right there? Because a lot of Jehovah's say, well, we don't see them voting at the annual meeting. Of course, because they have a preliminary meeting before. They do that all before the general meeting. You guys understand what's going on? It is expected that the entire session, including a formal business meeting and reports, as I said, the annual reports, will be concluded by 1 p.m. or shortly thereafter. You understand what's going on here, man? This is a corporation. Jehovah's is a corporation. It's a business, and they're making money off of the backs of free labor. You guys understand that? You guys understand that the annual meeting is nothing more than a corporation that has to report to their shareholders what they're making and what they're going to do. Okay? The other purpose of the annual meeting is to discuss new projects and activities. Now again, the society loves to change words. Now they have to discuss new activities and projects. What the society calls is new arrangements and new light. That's what they do at the annual meeting. Okay? That's what they do at the annual meeting. One of the new lights, I'm going to get into new lights and new arrangement in a minute. But they also have to give a declaration of the dividends, or the policy of dividend, the policy of the change to the change, how can I say it? The change to the dividend policy, all right? Now, what is a dividend? In a corporation, a dividend is the surplus of the profits you made from the previous year that you reinvest into your organization or to the shareholders. Now, when I say shareholder, I mean shareholders. I know I keep calling shareholders, but shareholders. All right? And so when people say, well, it's all the money going? Because the Watchtower Society, according to Wikipedia, is a $950 million corporation. But they still asking for money. Where's that money going? They're taking the profit and giving it to the shareholders. You understand what I'm saying? Now, getting back to the new arrangements for next year. The big thing is the yearbook got eliminated. People wondering, oh man, why the yearbook? Because we can't put the stats in there. Well, it's not so much they can't put the stats in there, man. They don't need the yearbook to put the stats in there. Because I'm going to show you something. The government bodies don't need the yearbook to put stats in. That's not the reason they eliminate the yearbook. This Watchtower here, February 1st, 2005. Let me show you what they put in this magazine right here. They put the stats in there. Okay? You guys probably can't see that. But this Watchtower has stats in there that you will find in the yearbook. Okay? So, they don't need a yearbook to put the stats in there. They can put it all in the Watchtower. But the reason they're going to put it on the website, as they said at the annual meeting, they're going to put in a website, and I think it was what's his name? What's that guy's name? I can't even think of his name. Anthony Morris. That's his name. Anthony Morris. He said because um, Jehovah knows that you guys are not reading everything on JWO. He said that with his own lips. And I don't know if people too much starting that word, but see, he told you. He told you why they put it on there. Jehovah knows you guys are not checking out that website. But guess what? I used to have a website. And I used to have a webmaster where I could see the traffic going on each page. How much time somebody going on, how long they spend on the page. I can see that. I can see the demographics, who's looking at it, how long they looked at it, what country it's come from. And when the governing body was looking at that webmaster and seeing how many people are going to JW.org, they noticed that it's not even on all the pages. So how does the governing body get people to go to JW.org? They take away the yearbook so people can go there and look at the stats. That's the main reason they took the yearbook off. They said we need a way to get people to JW.org, man. We don't need the yearbook to keep the stats in. As you've seen, the Watchtower already had the stats in there. You put the stats in the Watchtower. They don't need that to put they don't need the yearbook for the stats. They need people. They need traffic to come to JW.org. He mentioned that already. People probably let that pass by what he was saying. Anthony Morris was telling you that as the governing body looked at the traffic of the website, it wasn't too many people going to that website. Or if there's 8 million Jehovah's Witnesses, most likely 8 million people is not going on there every day. So how can we get the rest of the witnesses to go to the website? Well, let's put something they really look forward to looking at. Let's put the stats on the website so they can go on there. Guys probably didn't catch it, but I did. I caught it. They need more people to go to that website. Why? That's revenue. You can make revenue off your page and you don't have to even be selling anything. I could make a website, make money off my website, but even though I don't even sell anything. You understand what I'm saying? Google makes a lot of money off people's websites. And then they push that money back down to you. Just put JW in the Google search and the first thing will come on is JW.org. Put Jehovah on the Google search and the first thing will come on that Google search is JW.org. You think Google doing that for free? No, Google get revenue for every time somebody go to their page. And I'm pretty sure Jehovah's Witness or the Watchtower is getting money every time somebody go on JW.org. I don't know how, but I can guarantee you. That's why they advertising that page so much. There's no reason to advertise a red page. If your whole thing is about promoting the Bible, you don't need to promote a red page. They got things like Bible Hub. They got Bible Gateway. The Mormons got their own internet site. Everything got an internet site. But I don't understand why Jehovah's Witnesses have to keep them on JW.org. It's obviously a way to monetize that website. And the more traffic you get, the more money you're going to get from whoever you monetizing your website for. So they cut the yearbook back because they want to keep the stats from people. They cut it back because they need more people to go to that web page. He said it right there. Jehovah knows you guys not going to that web page. Yeah, and you governing body do too. Y'all know nobody going to that web page, man. Y'all know people ain't watching the JW broadcast like y'all thought they was. Y'all need people to go on there. So how can we goad them to go on there? Let's take away the yearbook. And then they'll have to go on there because they want to know the stats. That's why they did it. Believe that. The next thing. They bring down the Watchtower to what? 3 times a year? Now, when it comes to the annual meeting, this is a shareholders meeting this is basically a meeting to let the shareholders know how the business did for the previous year. And for anybody who's paying attention to the annual meeting, they understand that the Watchtower went down a lot this year. They had a lot of cases. Now, I don't know. I'm not into hold on for a minute. Let me get a little bit more of this. I'm not into I don't know how much money they're making from child abuse. allegations. But since I think 2015, they had at least $10 million in lawsuits. $10 million in lawsuits. That's at least. I'm being conservative. Your money's going to these lawsuits, brother. And so you losing a lot of money. And for you to come and put in your service report that you had to get to your shareholders, because the shareholders only going to stay with a business if it's growing. A shareholder will cut you loose if you going down because they losing money themselves. And so what the annual meeting told me this year is the Watchtower is losing money. If the Watchtower magazine is the main food for all the members, these members are about to starve. If McDonald's said that they only gonna give Big Macs or sell Big Macs every 3 years because we know you guys can't eat everything off the menu, that's like you know McDonald's running out of money. They can't afford that cow that they selling. That's like you know that. The excuse they give is, oh, we're going to cut it back because we know you guys can't read everything. That's like saying, oh, we're going to sell Big Macs once in a while because we know you guys can't eat everything on the menu. Well, people might not want to eat everything on the menu. They got their choice. And it's saying that people might not want to read everything off JWRS. Something might not apply to them, man. No, you're printing less because you're losing money, man. You're losing money. And to print that stuff and see people throw that on the street, you like, man, we wasted our money for that thing. You're losing money. And so I got to cut down. And when the shareholders hear that, they about to cut y'all loose, man. Believe that. I'm about to check out, man. I just hope you guys catch my drift on what I said. Religion is a business. The Watchtower is a corporation. And they're going down the drain. You guys slipping, buddy. The Watchtower Corporation is slipping. They're losing a lot of money. I think Russia really cut into them pockets, man. Because as I said before, the Watchtower Corporation or the Watchtower Society of Pennsylvania is responsible for publishing these magazines. The Watchtower Society of New York is responsible for real estate. And Russia just cut into all that. They lost a lot of money on that real estate in Russia. So the Watchtower Society of New York got a big hit. They also got the International Bible Student Association. That's a corporation used over there in the UK. I know I was a little long-winded, but a lot of information, man. And while you sheeple thought, oh, we're going to another assembly for this year, understand that was a corporate meeting, man. That was a meeting for the corporation in Pennsylvania, or the Watchtower Society of Pennsylvania, that they had to do. They had to elect the board of directors and had to give a report for the previous year to the shareholders. And when you wonder where all the money is going to the shareholders. Somebody in Pennsylvania is pocketing that money. It's interesting when you look up things, man, you learn so much. Why did they move in Pennsylvania? Because as you know, Charles Russell started in Pennsylvania. Why did he move his building down in New York? According to Wikipedia, man, he was going through a divorce. And he had to move a different jurisdiction so that he wouldn't have to pay the alimony to his wife. So I could just imagine the conversation, man. His buddy's talking about, man, it's cheaper to keep. He's like, nah, nigga, I'm gonna go to New York. It's cheaper to move my property over here in New York. Oh, man. But yeah, anyway, man, that's all I gotta say about that, man. Let me take this shot to the dome. Y'all have y'all a good night, man. Thanks for watching. I know I was a little long-winded, but man, check this out, man. The annual meeting is nothing. It proves nothing but, not that the organization is growing, not that we're giving spiritual food, but that the Watchtower is nothing but a business, man. And besides calling the workers at Bethel employees, they call them volunteers. and that this corporation is going down the drain. All right, this corporation is going down the drain. And if the annual meeting didn't teach you guys that, keep your eyes open, man. I give this corporation 10 more years, and if it lasts longer than that, you can slap me. But this corporation losing money, man. Too many pedophiles in the organization. Russia that took a big chunk out their thing, man. Russia done made some money off them assets out there. People leaving left and right. It's done, man. It's a done dollar, man. Done. Stick a fork in it. Done. Alright? Religion is a snare in the rocket, but it's also a business. You guys are giving your life, you guys are giving your time, your money and resources to a publishing corporation. You're giving it to a real estate corporation, man. That's all religion is. If you want to stay, go ahead and stay. But it's going down the drain. And until next time, man, I'm out. Thank you for listening to me. Goodbye.
If the churches took half the money that they was making and gave it back to the community, if they take half the buildings that they use to praise God and gave it to mothers who need God, we'd be alright. Homeless people out here, why ain't God letting them stay there? I gotta need gold ceilings to talk to me. My God can't come where I'm at, where he sent me. If God wanted to talk to me in a pretty spot like that, why the hell he sent me here then? You know what I mean? That make ghetto kids not believe in God. Why?